What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Hooking with Hutch. Today is an informational video, and this is gonna 120%, you have my word, help you with this lure. Now what we have here is a hollow body topwater frog. It's probably the most controversial lure in the fishing world. Why is that, may you ask? Well, you probably know, and that's probably why you clicked on this video, because I'm sure this video is going to be titled like how to modify your frog to increase hookup ratios or something along those lines. This lure right here is a very fun lure to throw. It's a freaking wicked lure to catch a fish on, but hooking up with a fish on this lure is wicked hard. So there's obviously lots of types of frogs. Right here we have our typical hollow body. This right here is as well a hollow body with like little plopper feet on it. It's like a little double plopper. It's also got this nice trailer hook in the back, but this isn't very good in the pads. This guy's just one that you kind of Texas rig. You can see the hook there, but this is more of a reel in retrieve. And then you have my favorite, not the specific brand of frog, but as you can see, if you guys know what a topwater popper is, it's got that popper mouth, so when you move it through the water and you give it that twitch, it makes that big disturbance on the water, and I like that a lot. Let's talk about tip number one. What are you looking for in a frog? Well, if we open up this KVD Straight King Sexy Frog right here, do we have a color on this? Green Pumpkin Pearl. We're going to open this lure up. This was bought today because I wanted to show you just exactly how to modify this frog to increase your hookup ratios. Tip number one, if we can get this out of the packaging, is when you grab a frog, the first thing you want to do, you want to check how soft it is. This lure is wicked soft. Now that's important because I've noticed if you look at the Booyah frogs, this KVD frog, they're very soft. Then we have a Guggen frog here. Nothing against Guggen Squad. I love Guggen Squad, but it's such a tough plastic. When you have a fish biting this, what you want them to do is chomp down on this plastic because that's what's going to expose the hooks. So the easier the better. So if it's softer, it's going to lead up to better hookup ratios. Now if you have Guggen frogs and you want to fish the Guggen frog, this will lead us into tip two. If your frog is just too firm and not squishy enough, what you can do, so you can boil some water in a cup. You'll want pliers so you can kind of just put them on the hook like this, and you're going to just dip that frog in boiling water, hold it there for a while, and then keep picking it up, testing it. Do not burn yourself, but testing the softness of it until you get it to a point where you want it in softness. So anyone that tells you, don't buy Guggen frogs or whatnot, I mean, if that's your thing, it's your thing. Buy it. All you have to do is modify it with that boiling water trick. It'll soften the frog up. Now, first thing we're going to look at here for tip three, right out of the package, you can see these have what we'll call them is tails or legs. They're really long, and they do that for a purpose. It's so you can modify them. Now, why should we cut these tails? Well, if you have this sitting in the water, these tails are sprung out here, and that could very well be what the fish is keying in on. If it's keying in on the legs way back here, and it bites down on that, it's just going to get the tails, and when you go to set the hook, the tails are just going to pull right out of the mouth, so you don't want that. So right off the bat, you're going to want a pair of scissors. Now you can either go straight across, or you can do it diagonally. Now what that's going to do, if you have an offset leg, so one that's shorter than the other, it's going to help you walk the frog. So that's one of the retrieves you can do, where you're kind of working the lure in this little bit of action. It's called walking the frog. Now, walking the frog isn't always an easy option. Luckily, it's not an option you really need to do, but it is good to be versatile. There's three main retrieves I like with a frog. Now, one of them is just a straight reel and retrieve, slow and steady. You can also walk the frog, or you can just pop the frog. So what I like to do is, if you guys know how to work a jerk bait, I like to do like a twitch pause, twitch pause. That's my favorite retrieve, and I think that's the best one out there. But it really depends on the day. Sometimes the frogs are keying in on a slow retrieve, they're keying in on that walking action, or that popping action. I notice on days where it's a little bit colder, they're biting a little bit slower. They don't really want to chase after something. They're going to look and key in on those just little twitches. Now, first thing we're going to do here is I'm going to make the diagonal cut because I want to be able to walk this frog. So you can either trim it to your liking, or you can just do a diagonal cut, which I find works pretty darn good. So you can see we have the tails offset there. Now, the reason, they're still pretty long. It's a little bit longer than I like it right there. But you want to cut less off because you can always cut more off, but you can't put the legs back on there. So now we're just going to kind of trim a little bit more off there. And we're going to trim a little bit more off there. Now I kind of like how that looks. We're going to take a little bit more right here. I like how that looks. That's pretty good. It's really all personal preference here on this tip. But there you have it. Tip 3 is going to be cutting the tails or the legs down on the frog. Mainly the walking tip. I mean, it's not really one I focus on much, but mostly because you don't want the bass keying on legs that are way down here, biting the legs, missing the hooks, because that is huge. Now, tip number 4 here is going to be a huge tip. Prior to the past 2 days I've gone out on the kayak, I'd only ever caught one topwater frog fish. 2 days ago, or actually 3 days ago, I had a 100% hookup ratio. I caught about 9 bass. We will be rolling footage of that day once we talk through all these tips, just to show you guys I'm not playing. Like, this stuff actually works. And then my second outing, which was yesterday, I think I hooked up on 6 bass, one of which I only missed. So still a really good percentage. So tip 4 is a huge one. This one's helped me a lot. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be, you can see these are very flush to the frog, the hooks here. Obviously that's for a reason. We're throwing it in and around pads and vegetation. This tip, though it may seem like it's going to completely ruin that, it does not. We're going to be bending these hook points up a little bit. Now this is not going to affect how it moves through the pads and the vegetation. I still throw these deep in the vegetation and the pads, and I really notice just about no difference. It really doesn't get hung up much. It gets hung up just as much as it does with this, because I get hung up when it's flush to the frog still. It really doesn't make a big difference. So all we're going to be doing here, if you just got regular pliers, that's fine. But if you have like these little holes here on the pliers, that's where I like to place the hook on the pliers. So all we're going to be doing, and it's not a drastic bend, but we are going to bend it up slightly. Now you can see that's sitting up off the frog, opposed to this side that's flush. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. And guys, be very careful not to bend that barb down, because that barb is super important when you're frog fishing. So get in behind that barb, and we're just going to bend it up. Now both of our hook points are up. I get even a little more risky with it, and I still don't get caught up, but I bend them up even more. A lot of guys just do it slightly. I like to do it a pretty darn good amount. Alright, so now as you guys can see, those hook points are directed up, which is exactly where you want them. It's going to help your hookup ratio tremendously. So now you guys can see, once they bite down on that frog, those hooks are up and they're ready. So that is a huge, huge tip. This is super, super, super important. This is not a tip or modification you're going to want to skip out on. This is going to help you gain so much more in your hookup ratio when fishing a topwater frog. Now tip number 5 is going to be an interesting one that you probably either haven't thought of or even heard of. So all we're going to do here is we're going to pinch the frog, and we're going to turn those hooks around just like this. Be careful not to hook yourself. Frog hooks are very, very sharp. You guys can see there's this plug on the bottom. Now what we're going to do with this plug is we're going to get in there with some pliers, and we're just going to slowly pull this plug out without damaging the frog, like so. If you see a little bit of plastic peel off, that's fine. You don't have to worry about that, because we're going to be going in with super glue afterwards, and we're going to completely reseal that plug right back up. Alright, so now we have this little weighted plug out. We have a hole in the bottom of the frog. Now guys, you can pick up rattles, beads, whatever you want. I just went to Walmart, went into the fabric section. They had these little metal beads. They also came with a bigger size, which I already have set off to the side. All this is just a little metal bead. When they're together, they make a rattle. And we're just going to plop those right into this frog. Push them in. Oop. And we'll get the last one in there. Now what this is going to do is one of the most important things you can do while fishing is stand out from everybody else. Now there's not too many people around you. I mean, there could be, but there's probably not that many people around you that's throwing a frog that has a rattle in it. Most guys are just going to be fishing their frog right out of the package, completely stock from any modifications, and it's not going to have any rattle to it. It's going to be completely noiseless. So if you add a rattle to it, this is going to more than likely pull fish to you to bite this frog that typically wouldn't bite it. Now you might be thinking, is this going to make my frog sink? It doesn't. I like to go 2 to 3 beads and I don't have an issue. It doesn't sink anymore. The most it's going to do is it's going to make the frog, instead of sitting flat, make it sit back a little bit, which is also another tip, which is really good, because it's going to have your hooks already sitting in a position where they're going to sink into the fish's mouth. So if it does sink on the butt end of the frog a little bit, it's actually really good. You want that. It's going to help for hookup ratios even more. Next step from here is we're just going to place that little weighted plug back in the frog. Now at first sight it may look like, oh no, like this looks busted. I can assure you it's not, because next step is you're going to apply, I believe what we have here, oh, this is crazy glue, just a little bit of super glue, Loctite, doesn't matter what brand, just make sure it's a super glue. I like these little ones where you just pinch out the liquid, that way you don't get too much. You're just going to apply this all around the plug and it'll seal it right back up. Make sure to get anywhere where there's gaps. Make sure it dries all throughout there. That way no water is going into your frog. I've done this to probably about 8 of my frogs now, and I've had no issue with any of them breaking on me or anything like that. And the glue holds true, so you should have nothing to worry about. If anything, I notice when I do this now, I'm not pushing water out of my frogs as often. If you guys have fished a frog, you notice it starts sinking on you and you got to squeeze it and it pees out that water there. So I've noticed when doing this little trick here, non-intentionally, because all I was trying to do was add a rattle to the frog, which I'll show you in a minute, it actually made it so water was not getting in the frog as much, which is nice because it's kind of annoying to have to sit there every 1, 2, 3 casts and have to squirt water out of your frog. So all we're going to do here now is we're going to let this glue dry. If you guys have a hair dryer or a fan, you want to speed up the process, that's perfectly fine. Just going to apply a little bit more, make sure I really have a good seal. Last time I used Loctite, but damn, this crazy glue dries fast. Looks like we're going to get a really nice seal. So we're going to let that sit for a little bit, and I'll get right back to you guys once that's dried up. Alrighty everyone, so we're all sealed up now. We got our hooks turned back around. As you guys can hear, you hear that rattle in there? Did the same thing with this Guggen frog. Now a little bit of difference, and if you guys get actual rattles you get more noise, but this suits me perfect. These beads work perfectly fine. Just that little bit of rattle can make all the difference of when you pitch this frog at a nearby bass where it may bite this frog, just because it's making a little bit more racket and a different noise than just a typical hollow body frog that's completely unmodified, that's been thrown at it all freaking day long. Alrighty guys, my next tip is, obviously we're going to be throwing this in and around pads and grass and whatnot, but something you might not think about is next time you're near a dock, try pitching this frog under a dock. Docks see hundreds and thousands of jigs, okay? Everybody's flipping a weightless Texas rig or a jig under a dock. Not too many people are throwing a frog under a dock, so next time you get an opportunity, pitch one of these guys under a dock, and you might just be surprised with the result. Now before we get into the video of me catching some of these topwater mondos on this lovely lure right here that literally just a week ago I was no good at. My hookup ratio was terrible. I had thrown a frog for probably about 2 years and one topwater fish. It was a nice 3.9 pound bass that I got lucky and hooked. But since doing these modifications, like I said, I had a day where I had 100% hookup ratio and 9 bass, then another day where 6 bass blew up and I caught 5 of the 6. My most important tip, and this one's completely on all of you. When you throw this frog, right, and you're doing whatever your retrieve is, whether it's a straight reel in, you're deciding to walk the frog, or just doing my twitch pause, twitch pause, change the cadence a little bit method, my favorite, when that fish blows up on this frog, it's wicked hard, but this is what's going to set hooking this fish or not hooking this fish apart. When it blows up on that frog initially, the biggest thing is patience. This is not a lure you want to set the hook with immediately, because for all you know, when that fish blows up, it might just have the legs. Why you gotta wait is because it's gonna suck that frog down. My key rule is about 3 seconds. It hits it, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, set that hook, and you're gonna notice an astronomical difference. It's gonna be the difference between you hooking a bass and not hooking a bass. Now, obviously, with these modifications, you might get lucky and hook the bass anyways, but the biggest key is waiting like 3 seconds. I usually wait about 3. Hits it, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, boom, hook set, and you are going to catch that fish. 9 times out of 10, you will catch that fish if you wait about 3 seconds. Like I just said, this is not a lure that you want to set the hook on a fish immediately. It's not what you want to do. 3 seconds is key. Don't forget that. It's going to take some practice, because obviously with all of our other lures, we're setting that hook right off the bat. We feel that fish, boom. Patience is very, very key with the frog. Now, without further ado, everyone, let's get right into some of the catches I had. I was originally just going to make a regular video out of it, just me going out fishing in the yak. But I only had 1 battery on me that day. It wasn't even fully charged, so I missed like all the blow-ups. But you guys will see me pulling in fish, and this frog is sitting down in their mouth. If you do the right thing and you wait those 3 seconds, like you'll see in the video, you'll see 1 or 2 of these hook lodged in the top back corner of that bass's mouth. So without further ado, everyone, I really hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's get straight into it. I wonder what we're doing today. Alrighty guys, we got another fish, this time on the frog. Get these hooks out of the net. Oh, just came out just like that. Here we go guys, nice little stud. Get this fish back in the water. Sorry I missed the catch, just running really low on battery. Thanks for biting, buddy. That one took off nice. That's what we want to see, guys. That's what we want to see. Another bass on the frog. Oh, there we go. There you guys have it right there. That is a frogfish. About a 2-pounder. See you, buddy. There he goes. Alright, we're hooked up again. Oh my god, it's a huge fish. Huge fish, huge fish. Don't get wrapped. Don't get wrapped. No. That might be a PB. Again. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dear Lord. Oh my god. Oh my god, what a tank. Look at that thing, guys. Whoa. Where'd the frog go? The frog came out. Oh my god. That is a big largie. We'll get a weight on this one. Oh, what a day. Holy crap. That's definitely this might be my biggest fish on the frog. My biggest fish on the frog was 3.9 pounds. If I can get my scale to cooperate. 4.04. Let this bucket mouth largie go. Thank you for biting, buddy. Oh, you looked like he was going to dance for us for a second. Awesome. Alrighty guys, another one on the boat, as you guys can see, on the frog. Sorry guys, I had to switch over to the iPhone. GoPro's dead. So I don't know if we're going to get any hookups anymore. This video, it's been such a good day of fishing. I don't know if it's going to be a good video. All right, we got the hooks out. Thank you for biting, buddy. Alrighty, buddy's unhooked. We're going to get a release on him. Yeah, taking off strong. Woo! Let's get it. All right, another largie on, you guessed it, the frog. Unfortunately, I'm not getting any of these blow-ups. It sucks, but we're out here getting it done, guys. There we go. First fish. Hit the frog. Looks like a little largie. Come over here. There we go. Sorry I missed the blow up, guys. I've just been out here a little while. It's been very unproductive. Wow, first fish of the day is a nice one. This guy just came up and gulped it out of nowhere. Not a bad largie to start. Right on that modified booyah frog. Get that popped out. It's a nice little fish right there. Alright, really healthy looking fish, guys. Awesome to get on the first one of the day. Thank you for biting, buddy. Nice. There's a bass. Come on, buddy. That guy came out of freaking nowhere. Just barely stopped recording, and this guy just absolutely crushed the frog. Yeah, that guy was pinned. He wasn't going anywhere. Nice fish. Get a picture of that guy. That's awesome. There we go. Beautiful largie. Thank you for biting, buddy. Another one. He struck it once, missed it, went back, he got it the second time. That's awesome. That's a nice fish. Heck yeah, look at that. Alrighty, we'll get you on hook, buddy. Ah, it's had a bug in my ear. Oh, it was a freaking honeybee. Oh, it's pissed now and it's on me. Sorry, honeybee. Ah, that was scary. There we go. It's a nice chunk right there. That's not a bad fish at all. I'll take that all day. Thanks for biting, buddy. So like I said, everyone, I was a guy that within 2 years had one fish on a topwater hollow body frog, and have now evolved into a guy that's gone out and caught 14 bass in the past 3 days, but technically 2 outings. These modifications will work. I'm doing this little tip tutorial type thing because I want to help all of you get some topwater hookups on the frog. It's a very exciting bite. Obviously all topwater bites are exciting. I'm a huge topwater enthusiast, but there's something different about the frog. When you pull that fish in and you see this guy lodged in the back of a bass's mouth, it's wicked cool. Makes for a fun photo. I always enjoy it. I really hope these modifications help you. I hope you guys can be patient. Wait that 3 seconds to set the hook. It's so freaking important. That's why I've mentioned it like 1,000 times now. But like I said, I really hope these tips help you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you guys, if you don't have a frog, go out and buy one. Or if you do, take it out of the old dusty tackle box of lures that didn't work for you. You modify it. And I hope you go out there and freaking crush some mondos. Without further ado, guys, that's it for me today. I will see you guys in the next upload. Appreciate you guys for rocking with me. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up and hit that red subscribe button. 100% free. Takes 2 seconds, and it's literally helping me grow, and it's going to help us as a community grow so I can do some fun things. If you guys have any video suggestions or more tips and tricks you want to learn, drop a comment in the comment section down below, and I am more than willing to go out and film or do any tips and tutorials that you guys would like. Because after all, we are a community. We don't have a name for ourselves yet, but if you want to drop down a name of what our community should be called, go ahead and drop that down in the comments too. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. I will see you in the next upload. Thanks for rocking with me. Peace.